This completely new creature born in Europe has brought the whole of Europe to its knees. It then followed the sea route to the Federation of China. The monster that appeared this time is the highest-ranked monster in world history. The Federation mobilized all its strength to counterattack, with a force even 5 times greater than when dealing with the Divine Tree. The whole world focused on China, hoping that this second-largest country in the world could solve the problem satisfactorily. But 250,000 soldiers were annihilated, and total casualties including civilians reached 570,000. On the 6th day of the disaster, 650,000 people had died. It was horrifying, as if World War III had broken out. The ancient monster still did not stop, still rampaging across the land, and as of today, up to 19,600,000 people have died. Transcendent Fourth Order, it is the most dangerous ancient monster in the world. At the Spiritual Power Supervision Bureau, a female manager is anxiously monitoring the monster. She was wondering why there was a panda fighting alone there. Wasn't Panda Corps Team 7 completely annihilated? At this moment 2 men entered. It was her leader, which startled her a bit. His face was extremely ugly. He immediately rushed to the monitor and asked anxiously and hopefully, Could this panda possibly win? Because he had seen the panda withstand a blow from the ancient monster, and the panda became too cool with deadly power bursting out brilliantly around him and a face that couldn't be more determined. Recalling his conversation with the Divine Tree, the panda guy was really unsure if he could defeat the Ninetails. She was really strong. In Chi-Zi's mind, Ninetails was invincible. Thinking about his cultivation process, Chi-Zi was deeply worried. Wondering when he could surpass that Ninetails fox girl, he asked the Divine Tree for a quick way to get stronger, like getting something for nothing. It really troubled the Divine Tree, a serious and exemplary young man. But the Divine Tree explained to Chi-Zi about the principle of using spiritual power. All spiritual power is stored in the heart after absorption from space. When fighting, they can only release a maximum of 30% of their spiritual power. To use all of it, they have to disperse the spiritual power from their heart and pour it into every cell. This can increase their strength to another level in a short time. At this point, Chi-Zi's eyes began to light up. The Divine Tree seriously advised not to use it, but the panda just laughed and told the Divine Tree not to worry. And this is the moment when Chi-Zi used this berserk technique. As soon as he began to release the spiritual power in his heart, anti-gravity energy was crazily released, causing rocks to crack and fly into the air. This pressure made the ancient monster pay attention. It started to widen its eyes and look because it really felt a dangerous force beneath it. The panda with a weird face and deadly aura challenged loudly. Come here, you damn thing! Immediately, 4 punches at supersonic speed were launched. Then dozens of other punches, all aimed straight at where Chi-Zi the panda was. But the ancient monster fell into the trap. Its tentacles were turned into ice by the panda. Then the panda rushed up like a brilliant bullet, at an incredible speed that even startled the ancient monster. When the distance was far enough, in an instant, Chi-Zi continued to launch at an even faster speed, wanting to pierce through space and hit straight into that ancient monster. This punch was not like before because its power had at least doubled or even tripled and the speed of battle was too fast for the monster to defend itself. It took a full-body punch from the panda. The monster opened its mouth and screamed in pain. A creepy mournful sound like from hell echoed out. And unbelievably, blood from the ancient monster's mouth also spurted out. It was red too. This amount of blood could fill 10 trucks. This satisfying punch excited everyone watching through the screen. They were thrilled and wanted to punch along with the panda. The panda continued to attack, and the ancient monster began to pull up the ground to enhance its defense. It was scared out of its wits. Since the ancient monster was born, no one had ever punched it, and now it knew what pain was. In the spiritual power monitoring room, they were measuring Chi-Zi's spiritual power intensity, which had reached 900,000, then 970,000, and was still rising rapidly. It was truly unbelievable. The female manager gritted her teeth and asked, Can he win? Of course, no matter who he is or where he comes from, the world no longer cares. They just want this hero to defeat that monster from hell and save mankind. The ancient monster launched a punch with terrifying power and speed, and the panda was ready to meet it. The monster's tentacles were shaken and began to tear apart, and blood spurted out from there. The panda was in the same condition, not much better. The body of a transcendent fourth order is indeed too hard. If they were on par, the panda would surely punch this beast without missing a beat, but that's just a wish. Dozens of punches were again directed at the panda. The panda roared, using all his strength, and also launched dozens of punches towards those tentacles. For this ancient monster beast, there is no need for tactics or techniques, only power against power. The huge tentacles were punched off, and the panda's whole body was covered in blood. He could no longer control his body because Chi Zi's body had exceeded its limit in a short time, and had now reached its limit. Pain and numbness were what he was experiencing at this moment. His body fell freely. The ancient monster seized the opportunity. It rose up and opened its big mouth to bite Chi Zi. Boom! It bit down, and its huge body hit the ground, causing a strong shockwave. Everyone was so worried that their hearts were about to jump out. Could this panda hero be killed? The chairman of the Federation also couldn't accept this situation. This is humanity's hope. Suddenly, a violent vibration erupted from the body of the ancient monster, forcing it to open its mouth, a sea of fire inside, and Chi Zi shot out. Hard to swallow, isn't it? The eyes of the ancient monster had turned white from pain. The panda had escaped, but he did not rest. He activated the combination of Fire Lotus and Fireball. What's this? The two reporters in the area really didn't know what was happening. Is there another sun? The panda had enveloped his whole body with spiritual fire, extremely fierce. Is this the panda's final move? The panda shouted loudly. Feel lucky, because before you die you get to see this move of mine. Ninetails hasn't even had a chance to see this move yet. I will let you taste it today. Like a brilliant sun, the fire continued to be concentrated and compressed to the extreme. The panda roared. Go to hell. This sun was shot like a thermal bullet, aimed straight at the ancient monster. A splash of blood erupted. The sun continued to circle back for the second attack. The panda was attacking furiously. In less than half a minute, he launched dozens of attacks from all directions. The giant ancient monster could only scream in pain. There were hundreds of wounds on the monster's body. It seemed as if its body was being cut into pieces. The pain was indescribable. The female reporter who saw this scene began to get excited and started her passionate commentary. This is a chance for humanity to win. In the spiritual power monitoring room, everyone was also excited. This panda guy was too strong. The entire future of humanity was on his shoulders. The people watching TV were even more excited, cheering for their hero. This match was too intense, too captivating, and too important because it was about the future of mankind. Everyone watched the match intently. They didn't even dare to go to the toilet for fear of missing a second of the match. They watched while cheering, gritting their teeth and sweating. It was even more suspenseful than watching their own country in the World Cup final. Xiao Ai and her grandfather were also cheering as enthusiastically as possible. Boom! A collision right in the eye of the ancient monster. Blood rained down like a shower. The panda roared in the air. This city is originally beautiful, a place you should not come, get out of here! After saying that, he continued a very strong rush, looking from afar, like the sun really rushing to the ground. The light was too dazzling, and boom! A deafening explosion sounded, and the shock wave carried a terrifying heat spreading over an area of hundreds of square kilometers, blowing up the reporter's skirt. They fell to the ground but had to quickly stand up to continue filming. They were the only and most daring reporters here in the world. But what's going on? She couldn't believe her eyes. Everyone was also silent in shock. Impossible, how could this happen? The ancient beast caught Chi's eye. Hang him upside down, blood flowing from all over his body. Immediately the whole world was silent for a while, beginning to become disappointed. Nothing could defeat this monster? The chairman slammed the table angrily. Damn it! Everything is over. The ancient beast punched the panda to the ground. The panda still struggled to crawl up. His body was really too strong. The panda coughed continuously. Many bones in his body were broken. At this time, his chance of victory was completely gone. The essence of life that the divine tree gave him, he had used up. Now the panda understood the feeling of humans when facing the divine tree is also like this, really powerless to infinity. Suddenly a child ran towards the battlefield. He rushed in begging the female reporter to save the panda. He didn't want the panda to die. His tears were flowing like rain. He cried and said, "The panda just wants to meet a friend only. He doesn't want to die like that." This made Xiaoai cry immediately. She screamed in despair. "Enough already, run away!" Chizai seemed to feel Xiaoai's words. He slowly stood up. "Run? If he doesn't run, he will definitely die. Everything will end. Death is entwining him. Death asks him if he is afraid." But Xiaoai's beautiful image appeared, and Chizai is no longer the old Chizai anymore. He struggled to say, "Xiaoai, are you watching my match? The fire in my heart will not go out this time. I will not run away anymore. This time I will absolutely not surrender." And the eyes of the panda once again lit up with a murderous intent that filled the sky. "Xiaoai, do you hear me? This time I won't run away!" Chizi screamed again, and blood spurted from his mouth. Xiaoai could only cover her mouth and cry. Her heart had completely melted. Since the restoration of spiritual power on Earth, humans have been obsessed with slaughtering mutated monsters everywhere. But today, they have witnessed a mutated monster fighting for human survival against a monster that wants to destroy them. Xiaoai suddenly remembered the old days when Chizi saw her injured by a lion attack. Xiaoai said that humans are willing to sacrifice to protect what they cherish. She asked Chizi if he had anything he wanted to protect. Unfortunately, Chizi at that time did not know how to speak human language. He could not say anything. Now Xiaoai knew that the person Chizi wanted to protect was her. She screamed Chizi's name and cried loudly. Tears covered her face. At 5:30 p.m. that day, the panda was officially defeated, and his life or death was unknown.